Hello, welcome to math class. We are continuing today we are going to practice reading and writing decimals in the tenths. Okay, we have to get really good at reading them, writing them, and saying them in order to move forward, and then we can read and write decimals in the hundredths place. So the first thing I want us to look at is our decimal place value chart. So here's our decimal place value chart. Now, if you remember from yesterday, we talked about how this side of the decimal, here's your decimal, okay? You have a left side of the decimal and you have a right side of the decimal. The right side is in blue, the left side is in red. The left side of the decimal is where the holes are. Holes. For instance, if we were talking about money, you had one whole dollar. That's where the one whole dollar would be. You have a whole dollar. 100 pennies make a dollar. You have 100 pennies, or you have a $1 bill. On the right side of the decimal is where the parts go. So, for example, if you had some change in your pocket, let's say you have 23 cents in your pocket. That's part of a dollar. It's 23 cents out of 100 cents. So the parts of the dollar go here. Okay, today again we are only going to focus on the tenths place. The tenths place. We have to get that down before we can move over to the hundredths place. Okay, so today again we're going to focus on having wholes and tenths. Let's pretend like you had $21. If you had $21, now you have 2 tens and 1 1. Again, on the wholes side, it would be like having $21 bills. 21 and, remember we say the and when we hit the decimal point, 21 and 2 tenths. Right? I'm going to write some decimals in here and I want you to practice saying them. So we're going to erase this. Okay, so what you're doing is you're verbally saying what I write in the box. Okay? So we've got, how would you say that? You should be saying it out loud to yourself, or your mom, or your dad, or your brother, or your dog, or your stuffed animal, or whatever. You're saying it out loud. Part of learning decimals is learning how to say them correctly. 3 and 6 tenths. Practice another one. Say it out loud. How would you read this? 5 and 4 tenths. If we were going to relate this to money, how much change would you have? You'd have $5 bills, but how much change would you have? 40 cents. 4 tenths. 10, 20, 30, 40. A dime is worth 10 cents. This is, as far as money goes, this column represents dimes. You would have 40 cents. You'd have 0 there. You don't have any hundredths. Okay, let's do another one. Say it out loud. 36 and 5/10. Again, boys and girls, I've got people that are way past this on iReady, and you guys are still reading it as 36.5, 36.5. This is where we're going to stop saying that. We have to learn how to read a decimal correctly. It is not 36.5 or 36.5. It is 36 and 5/10. Say it, 36 and 5/10. Now, how much would this be if you had change, if we were working with money? It would be 50 cents. You have nothing in the hundredths place. You'd have 5 dimes. Each dime is worth 10 cents. One more, and then we'll move forward. Okay, read it. 41 and 3/10. 41 and 3/10. Not 41.3, not 41.3. If this was money, how much money would you have? You'd have 30 cents because you have a 0 in that place value. Okay, let's move forward. That was good practice reading them, saying them, and understanding our place value chart. All right, now we are going to write each model as a fraction and a decimal. Okay, this is where I need you to pause the video, and I need you to make sure that you have a pencil and a paper. I'm going to do maybe 2 examples, and then the rest is up to you. And I'm sorry, I can't get the direction. Not the screen's too big. I can't get the directions and the pictures to show up at one time, but that's okay. So you know the directions are to get a pencil and paper. All right, we're writing each model as a fraction and a decimal. So what you're going to do is you're going to look, and you have tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tenths, and you're writing that on your paper so that when we meet as a class, you're ready to go over that. Then you're writing it as a decimal. 0 and 9/10. Why do you have a 0 in that place value? Where does that 0 come from? Because you have no holes. Remember, the left side of the decimal is where the holes are. And that is how you continue with the rest of them. So pause the video, and you should have all these written down. You have 8 examples that we're going to go over when we meet again. All right, pause the video. All right, so the next thing you're going to work on, here's your directions. Draw directions, draw the models on paper and answer the questions. Yes, you're drawing the models. If boys and girls, you remember in class, the first thing we do when we learn something new is we always draw models. Are we going to be drawing models forever? No. But for right now, I need you to draw models. So this first one says shade the models to show 2 and 3/10. What does this 2 stand for? It's on the left-hand side of the decimal, so it stands for holes. It stands for holes. So that means we have to have 2 whole rectangles shaded. 2 whole rectangles shaded. And you're going to draw them and you're going to shade them. I wish I had better. Two whole rectangles shaded. All right, what does the 3 stand for? It's on the right-hand side of the decimal. It's in the tenths place, so it stands for having 3/10. So you're going to draw it, and you're going to shade in 3 of these. If I wanted to write my mixed number would look like that. 2 3/10. 2 wholes, 3/10. Okay, so you need to shade the models, means you need to draw them in your notebook or on your paper to show 1 8/10. And then you're going to write the decimal for each one of these models. Pause the video, and we will check your answers when we meet. Pause the video. Sorry, backwards. All right, moving forward. All right, now we're going to write the decimal in words. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll do the first one with you. So we're going to say the decimal 3 5/10. We're going to write it in words. You're writing it on your paper. We're going to say the decimal 4 7/10. 4 7/10. We're going to write it in words. We're going to say the decimal. Say it. 12 9/10. We're going to write it in words. Here we go. We're going to read this one. 34 5/10. You write the words that come out of your mouth. So for example, this one. 3 Now, you know what? I'm going to see if I can type on here. Because writing with my computer mouse is just a pain. It doesn't write nicely. So I would write 3 and, why am I putting it, where's this and coming from? It's coming from the decimal. 3 5/10. There you go. 3 5/10. You do the next 3. Pause the video. Pause the video. All right. Now look, we got something new here. We're working with decimals on a number line. Actually, I'm going to pause here because we're going to just make this a part 2 of the video.